Hello, I'm Matthew Syed, and I've enjoyed today speaking to Britain's Chief Constables about the importance of black box thinking. This is an idea that in a complex world, even if we're bright and smart and enlightened and we have good intentions, it isn't enough. We have to learn, because the world is so incredibly complex, and if we don't learn, we're going to do the wrong things over and over again. I think aviation's got a very good model where when there are near-miss events, the pilots will voluntarily submit reports that are statistically analysed to figure out what are the latent systemic weaknesses that are leading to these near accidents. What can we do differently to ensure that passengers are protected? And if there is a really serious form of system failure, there are two almost indestructible black boxes. One records the electronic information, the other records how the pilot and co-pilot were interacting, so they can figure out what went wrong to make the reform so the same mistake never happens again. In other words, aviation is a learning culture. It's constantly on the lookout for ways to improve system safety. And this has had an incredible effect on the hard data. The beginning of the last century, aviation was very risky. The early accident rate at some of the aviation schools was close to 25%. Last year, the accident rate for the major airlines was one crash for every 8.3 million takeoffs. It's not to say that every industry is the same as aviation, and the way that people learn is different depending on context, but unless there is a set of psychological assumptions that enable people to learn, to share the information, to collaborate, then rational adaptation doesn't happen. And I've been enjoying my time here very much. I spoke for 25 minutes and took questions. I think one of the things that suppresses the flow of information is blame. If clinicians in healthcare or police or professionals anticipate being blamed for sharing information about their own weaknesses or things that have gone wrong, and things will always go wrong, even with diligent professional people, they're unlikely to share that information. So in other words, it's, I think, a really important feature of leadership to encourage that information flow whilst nevertheless penalising gross negligence. One should never penalise preemptively, only after one can establish what really happened, because then you'll create the trust with the professionals who will then carry on to provide that information. But it's been great to be here, thanks for having me, and I look forward to working further with the police in the future.